Are you looking for the best robot mops? In this video we will look at some of the 4 best robot mops on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Ecovacs D-Bot N8 Plus Vacuum and Mop Robot. Of all the models we tested, the Ecovacs D-Bot N8 Plus scored well above the pack and easily nabbed the best overall spot on our list. There are a number of features to love about this vacuum/mop hybrid, but most importantly, it earned top scores for its cleaning power. Vacuuming effectiveness was excellent in our lab tests, and the N8 Plus removed hair and debris from the floor in a timely manner. The vacuum easily maneuvered around the room, including around chairs and under the couch. It did get tripped up on the USB cords in its path, but we found it easy enough to remove them from under the vacuum. The mopping function was also high-performing and mostly managed the wet messes in our tests. It's worth noting that most of the robot mops on this list struggled to fully clean up the syrup, and the N8 Plus was no exception, but it did much better than most. When we tested this pick at home, we found that the mop consistently made our floors shiny and clean. The N8 Plus's floor mapping is solid. In the testing enclosure in the lab, it cleaned the perimeter of the room first before methodically making its way around the furniture. After it's done, the N8 Plus docks itself easily and self-empties. Noise levels, at 68 decibels, were also average. We appreciated the Mops scheduling tool, which allowed us to set up a cleaning from our phone and let it run even when we weren't home. The N8 Plus checks the other boxes you'd expect it to, too. The quick start guide was easy to follow, the setup was uncomplicated, and you could use it right away. At 68 decibels, noise levels were average. With 110 minutes of runtime, the N8 Plus has the shortest battery life on this list. We didn't think that runtime detracted from its overall solid performance, but if you live in a larger space, a robot mop with longer battery life might be a better fit. Number 2. Ecovacs D-Bot T10 Plus Robotic Vacuum and Mop. In both real-world and lab testing, the Ecovacs D-Bot T10 Plus proved very effective at managing minor to moderate messes. In vacuum mode, it collected nearly all of the wig hair, Cheerios, and sand in its path. As a mop, it cleaned the syrup and coffee better than many other robot mops we tested. The Ecovacs D-Bot T10 Plus has voice capabilities with Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant, and we also liked the air filter pod with different scents. The self-emptying dustbin on this robot mop is another really nice feature. After it's done cleaning your space, it returns to the docking station and empties the dustbin on its own. Compared to its sister model the N8 Plus, the T10 Plus also has a longer runtime, 180-minute battery life versus the N8 Plus's 110. The mapping on this robot mop is worth noting, too. We liked that it's quiet while it cleans and seems to vacuum in an intelligent and efficient manner. Unlike some other models, it doesn't go in random trajectories. Maneuverability was overall good as well. To start, the model will first go all over the area and assess the perimeter before operating in straight lines. During lab testing, it avoided the sock and moved around the furniture well. It did suck up the USB cord, however, and had some trouble going over the door thresholds and navigating area rugs. It's worth noting that this robot mop is more expensive than other models and also has a bit of a learning curve. While testing it at home, we found it frustrating to use initially, but by the 6-month mark, the robot seemed to better understand our space and was performing better than ever. Once it was able to map out and understand the space, it was able to clean areas that were previously hard to clean ourselves. Number 3. Ecovacs Station Self-Emptying Robot Vacuum and Mop. When it comes to hybrid models that have both wet and dry cleanup capabilities, the Ecovacs Station Robot Vacuum and Mop emerged as a top performer. It allows you to select the areas of your home that you want to clean and doesn't require any heavy lifting. In testing, we found the Yeti to be a well-made robot mop with some standout features. With 240 minutes of battery life, it had the longest runtime of any robot mops tested, making it a great option for homes with ample square footage. Tank size is on the higher end as well. The brand claims this robot mop can hold up to 30 days of dust in the dustbin, which the robot mop empties into automatically. Noise levels were on the lower end, too, just 64 decibels, although we found it's a bit louder when self-emptying. Cleaning power in both the vacuum and mop mode is solid. After testing it at home, we hardly had to pull out a vacuum because the Yidi was able to manage light cleaning so well. Overall, we felt that our floors had never looked cleaner. In the vacuum test, the Yidi initially didn't pick up all of the hair and debris after 2 minutes, but it made a clear path and collected more with extra time. The mopping function successfully avoided the carpet and worked well cleaning up the coffee and moderately well on the syrup. It took a couple of passes for the vacuum to get the syrup, but some residue was left behind. Overall, we gave this Yidi top scores for maneuverability, as it easily navigated obstacles in its path. During lab testing, we found the instructions relatively easy to follow, but after trying it again at home, we thought the setup could be more intuitive. There was some difficulty connecting the robot mop to our home Wi-Fi network, and we needed to reset the mop in order to get it up and running. We also experienced some frustration with the Yidi's self-emptying feature, as we found that it wasn't always able to manage the amount of dog hair collected in a single cleaning session. As a workaround, we ran it twice a day in different areas of the house. Number 4. Nebot Q11 Robot Vacuum and Mop. If you have kids, you'll want a robot mop that effectively cleans messes, maneuvers around any fallen toys, and ideally is quiet enough not to wake sleeping little ones. Of all the models we tested, the Nebot Q11 Robot Vacuum and Mop proved itself most capable of checking those boxes. A hybrid model with both mop and vacuum capabilities as well as object avoidance technology, the Nebot Q11 is easy to set up and seamless to use. We appreciated the nice-looking design, the self-emptying function, and the fact that it was very quiet. While testing it at home, we found that this robot mop required little if any human intervention. Once it was done cleaning, it went back to its base, so we never had to supervise it during a cleaning cycle. The Nebot Q11, which has room mapping capabilities, generally navigated the testing enclosure well, although it did struggle a bit to transition between the bare floor to the rug. Overall, it was able to get around most objects just fine and had great maneuverability, but it did suck up the sock and cable. And while its mopping performance was so-so, as it left behind some of the liquids in our test, it did a very good job vacuuming the room. All to say that while its cleaning power isn't perfect, the Nebot Q11 is a good robot mop that generally performs well. While testing it at home, we found that it did struggle a bit when there were a lot of toys on the floor. Once we tidied up a bit, however, it ran more seamlessly.